Hey, everybody, and welcome to this deep dive. We're looking at the Pasco County real estate market for January 2025. So we've got all this data for you guys on single-family homes and townhomes and condos. I think there are some pretty interesting things in here to unpack, whether you're buying or selling, or even if you're just kind of keeping an eye on things.
Yeah, I think that's right. One of the things that we're seeing is while the market's still strong, it's definitely eased up from that really, really crazy pace of 2023 and early 2024.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I remember back then, it seemed like every house was just flying off the market practically overnight. But this report shows that the median time to sale for single-family homes actually increased by over 10% compared to last January.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what does that tell us?
Well, I think it suggests that the market is shifting towards a more balanced market where neither buyers nor sellers have a huge advantage. But we've still got this low inventory of homes available. So it's still tilting a little bit in favor of sellers.
Okay, so for those of you out there thinking about selling your single-family home in Pasco County, what does all this mean for you?
Well, the data shows that demand is still really strong, especially if your home is priced right. The median sale price did dip a little bit from last year, but it's still up substantially compared to, prior years.
Yeah, and here's where I think it gets really interesting. The report shows that there was a pretty big jump in cash sales for single-family homes, almost 30% in January.
Yeah, that's a big number.
I mean, it makes you think there are a lot of investors out there.
It certainly does, and that could mean tougher competition for buyers, especially in certain price ranges. Like if we look at the $400,000 to $599,999 price range, we saw closed sales go up almost 11%. But the typical time to contract was almost 50 days longer than last year.
Wow, so it sounds like sellers in that range are sitting pretty, but buyers need to be ready for maybe a longer and more competitive process. I mean, but it's not all bad news for buyers, though, is it? I mean, there are some bright spots in this report, right?
Oh, absolutely. The townhome and condo market is kind of telling a different story. We're actually seeing a decrease in closed sales year over year. And the median sale price has taken a dip, too.
Okay, well, that sounds like good news for buyers, at least on the surface. Does that mean it's a buyer's market for condos and townhomes then?
Well, not necessarily. While the numbers might seem good to buyers, you also have to look at that month supply of inventory. And that's still pretty low at 3.9 months. So that means that although prices have softened a bit, the competition hasn't totally gone away.
So even if you're looking at condos or townhomes instead of a single-family home, the key is to really understand the specific dynamics of that part of the market. And this is where I think a good mortgage specialist can really make a difference, right?
Oh, absolutely. Navigating all these shifts in the market can be really tricky. And that's where somebody like Mike Chissell and his team come in.
Yeah, I remember when I was buying my first place, I was so overwhelmed by all the different loan options and stuff. Yeah. Having someone who could explain everything clearly and really be on my side was a game changer.
I think that's so important. A good mortgage specialist can really help you understand the market, create a strategy that works for you, and make sure you're making smart decisions, especially in a market like this where timing and strategy are so important.
Exactly. So if you're feeling even a little bit lost, reaching out to the Mike Chissell Mortgage Group is a fantastic first step. They're ready to answer any questions and help you make informed choices in this crazy real estate market.
That's right. It's all about having the right information and the right support to make the best decisions for your situation.
Exactly. All right, well, let's take a closer look now at what this data means for sellers. One thing that jumped out at me was that the median percent of the original list price received has actually decreased year over year. In January 2025, it was 95.3%, down 2.2% from January 2024.
Right.
So does that mean, even though it's still technically a seller's market, they're not getting quite as much over asking price as they were a year ago?
That's right, but it's still a very strong number. It means that sellers are still getting very close to their asking price, which is a good sign.
And if we look at the median time to sale, we see that it's increased over 10% from last year. So homes are taking a little bit longer to sell.
That's right. The median time to sale for single-family homes in January 2025 was 84 days, which is still a reasonable time frame. But it's longer than we saw in those really fast-paced years. This is further evidence that things are moving toward a more balanced market.
Okay, so now let's talk about those folks thinking about buying a townhome or a condo in Pasco County. What sticks out to you in the data there?
Well, one thing I find interesting is that the median sale price for townhomes and condos has actually decreased by 6.2% year over year.
Wow, that's a pretty big drop.
It is. The median sale price in January 2025 was $285,000, down from $303,900 in January 2024. So this could be a really good opportunity for buyers to get into the market at a more affordable price.
But remember what we said earlier. Inventory's still low. So while prices might be down, buyers still need to be prepared for some competition out there.
Oh, absolutely. And it's also important to look at those long-term trends. While prices have softened a bit, the townhome and condo market in Pasco County has been growing pretty steadily over the past few years.
So this could be a good time for buyers to jump in before prices potentially go back up.
Possibly.
Yeah.
But it's really important to do your research and carefully analyze, the specific area and the type of property that you're looking at.
And of course, talk to a mortgage specialist like Mike Chissell and his team to make sure you're making a smart financial decision.
Exactly. Getting expert advice is crucial in any market, but especially in one that's as dynamic as this one.
Okay, well, let's look at another interesting data point here for both single-family homes and townhomes and condos. And that's the percentage of closed sales that were paid in cash.
Right.
We touched on this briefly earlier, but let's dive in a little deeper.
Okay, so for single-family homes, almost 30% of sales were paid in cash in January 2025. And that's up significantly from January 2024. For townhomes and condos, it was even higher at 33%.
Wow. So what does that tell us about the market?
Well, as we mentioned before, a high percentage of cash sales can indicate that there's a lot of investor activity going on because investors are often more willing and able to pay in cash, and that gives them a competitive edge in multiple offer situations.
Yeah, that makes it even harder for those buyers who need financing to compete.
That's true. But it's important to remember that not all cash buyers are investors. Some buyers just prefer to pay in cash to avoid mortgage payments and interest.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
So while a high percentage of cash sales might be a sign of investor activity, it's not the whole story.
Exactly.
Okay, so now let's talk about new construction.
Yeah.
What are we seeing in terms of new construction activity in Pasco County?
Well, the report doesn't give us specific data on new construction starts or completions, unfortunately, but we can get some clues from the data that we do have.
Okay, so
Well, we talked about inventory levels being relatively low, even though they're up year over year. And that suggests that new construction just hasn't been able to keep up with the demand from buyers.
even though we don't have the exact numbers, it seems safe to say that there's probably still a shortage of new homes in Pasco County.
I think that's a reasonable assumption. And this lack of new construction just adds to how competitive the market is.
So what are some of the factors that might be contributing to this shortage of new construction?
Well, one factor is the cost of building materials. Over the past few years, we've seen some pretty big increases in the price of lumber, concrete, and other essential building materials.
And that, of course, makes it more expensive to build new homes. So some projects might not be as profitable for developers.
Exactly. And then there's the availability of skilled labor. The construction industry has been dealing with a labor shortage for a while now, and that can make it hard for builders to find qualified workers to get those projects done on time and on budget.
And that shortage can also drive up labor costs, too.
Yeah,
Right? So that adds to the overall expense of building.
absolutely. And then we also have to think about the availability of land. As Pasco County keeps growing, there's less and less land available for development. And that can push up land prices and make it harder to find good spots for new construction.
So basically, we've got rising material costs, a shortage of skilled labor, and limited land availability, all working against new construction in Pasco County.
Right. It's a challenging environment for builders right now.
And that brings us back to why it's so important to understand the local market dynamics. When you're thinking about making any real estate decisions,
Absolutely.
whether you're buying or selling, knowing what's going on in the market can help you make smarter choices.
Exactly. And that's why working with a trusted mortgage specialist is so crucial.
Speaking mortgage specialist, I know we've talked about Mike Chissell and his team a few times already, but I think it's worth saying again why they're such a valuable resource in this market.
I agree. Mike and his team have a really deep understanding of the Pasco County market, and they're incredibly knowledgeable about new construction. They can help you analyze the properties that are out there, assess the potential risks and rewards, and figure out the best financing options for you.
And they're super responsive and committed to providing personalized service, which I think is so important.
It is. They really understand that buying or selling a home is a huge decision, and they're dedicated to making that process as smooth and as stress-free as possible.
So if you're even thinking about getting into the Pasco County real estate market, Whether you're looking at new construction or existing homes, reaching out to the Mike Chissell Mortgage Group is a great place to start.
I completely agree. They're a fantastic resource for anyone looking to navigate this complex and ever-changing market.
Okay, so I think we've covered a lot of ground here in this first part of our deep dive into the Pasco County real estate market. We've talked about the overall trends, the challenges, the opportunities, and the importance of working with experts like Mike Chissell and his team.
Exactly. And we've highlighted some key takeaways for both buyers and sellers. Whether you're looking to buy your dream home or sell your current property, understanding the dynamics of this market is crucial.
And remember, even though we're seeing some signs of things cooling down, it's still a very competitive market out there.
Yeah.
So being informed and prepared is more important than ever.
That's right. Knowledge is power in real estate. And we want to make sure you have the information you need to make the best decisions for your unique situation.
Exactly. So stay tuned for part 2 of our deep dive, where we'll delve even deeper into this fascinating market. And we'll explore some more specific strategies for both buyers and sellers.
We'll be back soon with more insights and analysis to help you navigate this exciting world of Pasco County real estate.
Welcome back to our deep dive into the Pasco County real estate market. In part 1, we talked about some of the general trends that are affecting both buyers and sellers. And now I want to kind of zero in on some specific insights for sellers. As we touched upon earlier, the market is showing signs of cooling down, but that doesn't mean it's a bad time to sell at all.
Right. It sounds like there's still a lot of opportunities out there for sellers to come out ahead. So what are some of the things that sellers should keep in mind in this kind of shifting market?
Well, one thing we're seeing is that while homes are still selling, they might not be fetching those sky-high prices that we saw maybe a year ago. Buyers are becoming a little more discerning, and they're not as willing to overpay.
Yeah, that makes sense. So what does that mean for sellers in terms of, actually pricing their homes? Well, it means that it's more important than ever to price your home strategically. Overpricing can lead to your home sitting on the market for longer, which can ultimately hurt your chances of getting a good offer. It's really crucial to work with a real estate agent who understands the current market conditions and can help you determine that sweet spot, that right price point.
So while sellers might need to adjust their expectations a little bit, it seems like they're still in a pretty favorable position overall. I mean, the demand is still there, and if they price their homes right, they should be able to sell within a reasonable time frame.
Absolutely. Now let's switch gears a little bit and talk about what this market means for those of you who are thinking about buying a townhome or a condo in Pasco County.
Okay, so we know from part 1 that this segment of the market is telling a slightly different story. Prices have dipped, but inventory is still relatively low. So what does this mean for buyers who are ready to kind of jump in?
Well, it's an interesting time for condo and townhome buyers. On the one hand, you've got these lower prices, which present an opportunity to enter the market at a potentially more affordable level. But on the other hand, that limited inventory means you really need to be prepared to act decisively when you find a property that you like.
So it's a bit of a balancing act then. Buyers need to be ready to move quickly, but they also don't want to rush into a decision that they might regret later. What advice would you give to buyers who are feeling maybe a little overwhelmed by all of this?
My top recommendation is to work with a mortgage specialist. They can really help you understand all those nuances of the market. They can pre-approve you for a loan, and they can guide you through that whole buying process. A good mortgage specialist is really going to act as your advocate, making sure that you get the best possible terms and that you avoid any potential pitfalls along the way.
And speaking of mortgage specialists, we've mentioned Mike Chissell and his team a few times already. Why are they such a great resource for buyers, especially in a market like this?
Well, Mike and his team have a deep understanding of the Pasco County market, and they're known for their really personalized approach. They take the time to listen to their clients' needs and goals, and they work tirelessly to help them achieve their homeownership dreams. In a market that's as competitive as Pasco County is, having someone in your corner who's both knowledgeable and dedicated can make all the difference.
Absolutely. Whether you're a first-time buyer or you've been through the process before, having a trusted mortgage specialist like Mike can really provide some invaluable peace of mind. Now let's circle back to the topic of sellers for a minute. One thing we haven't really discussed yet is this rise in cash buyers. What implications does that have for those who are selling their homes?
Yeah, the increase in cash buyers is definitely something that sellers need to be aware of. It's essentially creating a two-tiered market where those who can pay in cash have a distinct advantage.
So how can sellers navigate this kind of new reality?
Well, first and foremost, they need to be aware of the trend and understand its potential implications. If you receive multiple offers on your property and some of them are cash offers, You'll need to weigh the pros and cons very carefully. Cash offers often come with fewer contingencies, and they can close more quickly, which can be very appealing to sellers.
But it's not always a straightforward decision, right? I mean, there might be other factors to consider besides just the purchase
No,
price.
absolutely.
Yeah.
A higher cash offer might be tempting, but you also need to consider the buyer's reputation, their closing timeline, and any other factors that are important to you. This
Mhm.
is another area where a good real estate agent can be invaluable. They can really help you assess those different offers and make a decision that's truly in your best interests.
So sellers, it's a good idea to have a conversation with your real estate agent about, the prevalence of cash buyers in your market and how to best position yourself to attract the right kind of offer. Now let's turn our attention back to buyers for a bit. One of the biggest challenges facing buyers in this market is this lack of new construction.
You're absolutely right. That limited inventory of new homes is a significant factor that's driving competition and pushing up prices in many areas.
So why aren't we seeing more new construction in Pasco County?
Well, there are a few factors at play. One is the rising cost of building materials. We've seen, significant price increases in lumber, concrete, and other essential building components, and that makes it much more expensive for developers to build new homes.
So it's not just a matter of demand then. The supply side is facing its own set of challenges.
Exactly. And it's not just material costs either. We're also seeing a shortage of skilled labor in the construction industry. Finding qualified workers to complete projects on time and within budget is becoming increasingly difficult, which further adds to the cost of new construction.
And then, of course, there's the issue of land availability. As Pasco County continues to grow, finding suitable and affordable land for new development becomes more and more challenging.
Right. The combination of these factors is creating a real bottleneck in the supply of new homes. And that's contributing to this competitive market that we're seeing today.
So buyers, if you're hoping for, a sudden influx of new construction to ease the competition, it might not happen anytime soon. You'll need to be patient and strategic in your search. And again, this is where a mortgage specialist can be a huge asset. They can help you navigate the complexities of the market and find the right home for your needs.
Absolutely. And they can also help you understand the different financing options that are available and make sure you're getting the best possible terms on your mortgage.
Speaking of financing, let's talk a little bit about interest rates. We know that they've been rising over the past year.
Mhm.
What does that mean for buyers who are looking to finance their purchase?
Well, rising interest rates definitely add another layer of complexity to the buying process. As interest rates go up, the cost of borrowing money increases, and that can really impact affordability for a lot of people.
So buyers might find that they qualify for a smaller loan amount than they would have a year ago, or they might need to adjust their budget to accommodate those higher monthly payments.
Exactly. And this is where a mortgage specialist can really shine. They can help you shop around for the best interest rates and find a loan program that truly fits your unique circumstances. They can also help you understand the different types of loans that are available, things like fixed rate mortgages and adjustable rate mortgages. And they can advise you on which type might be best for your situation.
It sounds like a mortgage specialist can really be a buyer's best friend in this market.
I couldn't agree more. They can help you understand all the intricacies of financing, navigate that competitive landscape, and ultimately make that home buying process as smooth and stress-free as possible.
So if you're feeling a little overwhelmed by the prospect of buying in this market, don't hesitate to reach out to a trusted mortgage specialist. They can be an invaluable resource and guide.
Now let's shift gears a little bit and talk about some of the broader economic factors that are influencing the Pasco County real estate market. As we touched upon earlier, the national economy is showing some signs of slowing down, and there's talk of a possible recession on the horizon.
Okay, a recession? That sounds a little scary. How might that impact the local real estate market?
Well, a recession could potentially lead to job losses and decreased consumer confidence, and that could in turn impact the demand for housing. If people are worried about their jobs or the economy, they might be less inclined to make a major purchase like a home.
So could a recession cause home prices to drop?
It's certainly possible. A decrease in demand could lead to a softening of prices, especially if inventory levels remain relatively high. However, it's important to remember that every recession is different and the impact on the real estate market can vary.
So it's something to keep an eye on, but not necessarily a reason to panic.
Exactly. It's always wise to stay informed about the broader economic trends and, consult with experts to understand their potential implications for your personal financial decisions.
Now let's talk about another economic factor that can really impact real estate inflation. We know it's been running pretty hot lately. How's inflation affecting the Pasco County housing market?
Yeah, inflation is a complex issue with far-reaching consequences. In the context of real estate, it can lead to increased costs for building materials, labor, and land, which, as we've discussed, makes it more expensive to build new homes.
So inflation is basically exacerbating those challenges that we talked about earlier regarding the lack of new construction.
Exactly. The rising cost of construction is further limiting the supply of new homes, which can then push prices up in the existing home market.
And inflation can also impact affordability for buyers,
Yeah.
right? As the rising cost of goods and services makes it harder to save for a down payment or to qualify for a mortgage.
Right. It's a bit of a double-edged sword. It makes it more expensive to build new homes, and it also makes it more difficult for buyers to afford them.
So inflation is definitely something that both buyers and sellers need to be mindful of in this market. Now let's shift gears a little bit and talk about some of the demographic trends that are influencing the Pasco County real estate scene. We know that Pasco County has been one of the fastest growing counties in Florida. How is this population growth affecting the housing market?
Well, the influx of new residents is definitely a major factor driving demand for housing in Pasco County. As more people move to the area, the competition for homes intensifies, which can push prices up.
So it's a classic case of supply and demand, right?
Mm.
More people want to live in Pasco County, but the supply of housing hasn't kept pace.
Exactly. And this is where those challenges with new construction that we discussed earlier really come into play. The limited supply of new homes is further exacerbating that imbalance between supply and demand.
So for buyers, it means they need to be prepared to face a competitive market with limited options.
Right. And for sellers, it means they're likely to see strong demand for their properties, which can translate into favorable selling prices and shorter times on the market.
So population growth, kind of a mixed bag then. It's good news for sellers, but it creates challenges for buyers.
Absolutely. Now, let's talk about another demographic trend that can impact the real estate market: the aging of the population. As more baby boomers reach retirement age, we're seeing a shift in housing preferences.
Okay, how is this affecting the Pasco County market?
Well, as people retire, they often look to downsize or relocate to areas that offer a different lifestyle. And this can lead to an increase in inventory in certain segments of the market, particularly larger homes or those in areas that appeal to retirees.
So for younger buyers who are looking for maybe more space or a specific type of home, this could actually present an opportunity.
It certainly could. As older homeowners sell their homes, it can create more options for buyers who are looking to move up or enter the market for the first time.
So demographic trends, kind of like economic trends, can have a significant impact on the real estate market. They can create both opportunities and challenges for buyers and sellers.
Absolutely. And understanding these trends can help both buyers and sellers make more informed decisions.
Now let's talk a little bit about the different neighborhoods and communities within Pasco County.
Okay, what are some of the key areas that buyers and sellers should be aware of? Well, Pasco County offers a wide variety of neighborhoods, each with its own unique character and appeal. Some popular areas include Wesley Chapel Land, Lakes, Newport Richey Trinity, and Dade City.
Right, we've heard those names before. What are some of the defining features of these areas?
Well, Wesley Chapel is known for its family-friendly atmosphere and its proximity to shopping, dining, and entertainment. It's a popular choice for families with young children who are looking for a vibrant and convenient place to live.
Lando Lakes, on the other hand, offers a more rural setting with plenty of lakes and outdoor recreational opportunities. It's a great choice for those who want to be close to nature and enjoy a more relaxed pace of life.
Newport Richey has a mix of waterfront properties and more affordable housing options. It's a popular choice for retirees and those looking for a more laid-back coastal lifestyle.
Trinity is a master-planned community with a focus on amenities and lifestyle. It offers a wide range of housing options, from townhomes and condos to single-family homes, and it boasts a wealth of community amenities, including parks, pools, and fitness centers.
And Dade City is known for its historic charm and its more rural agricultural setting. It's a great choice for those who appreciate history and want to escape the hustle and bustle of city life.
So Pasco County really does offer something for everyone. Whether you're looking for a bustling suburban environment, a peaceful lakeside retreat, or a charming historic town, you're sure to find a community that fits your needs and preferences.
Absolutely. And each of these areas has its own real estate market with varying price points, inventory levels, and types of properties available. It's important to do your research and understand the nuances of the specific area you're interested in.
Now let's talk about another important factor that can influence real estate decisions: schools. For families with children, the quality of schools is often a top priority.
You're absolutely right. Schools play a huge role in determining the desirability of a neighborhood, and homes in areas with highly rated schools often command a premium price.
So what's the school situation like in Pasco County?
Pasco County has a diverse range of schools, from public to private and from elementary to high school. There are a number of highly rated schools in the district, as well as some that are facing challenges.
So it's important for parents to do their research and carefully consider the school options in their target area.
Absolutely. There are a number of resources available to help parents research and compare schools, including online ratings and reviews, school district websites, and parent groups.
Now let's talk about another factor that can impact real estate values: amenities. What are some of the amenities that buyers are looking for in Pasco County?
Amenities can be a major selling point for a home or community. They can include anything from community pools and parks to fitness centers and walking trails.
And the availability and quality of amenities can vary significantly from one area to another.
Right, some communities are designed with a focus on amenities, offering residents a wealth of recreational and social opportunities. Others might have more limited amenities, focusing instead on natural features or a more rural setting.
So it's important for buyers to consider what amenities are important to them and to prioritize those when choosing a neighborhood.
Absolutely. And for sellers, highlighting the amenities that your property or community offers can be a great way to attract buyers.
Now let's talk about another factor that can impact real estate decisions: crime rates.
Hmm.
For many people, feeling safe and secure in their home is a top priority.
You're absolutely right. Crime rates can have a significant impact on property values, and homes in areas with lower crime rates often command higher prices.
So what's the crime situation like in Pasco County?
Pasco County, like any area, has its share of crime. But the crime rate varies significantly from one neighborhood to another. Some areas are known for their low crime rates and family-friendly atmosphere, while others have higher crime rates that might be a concern for some buyers.
So it's important to research the crime rates in your target area and to consider your personal safety preferences when making a decision.
Absolutely. There are a number of resources available to help residents research crime statistics and compare different neighborhoods, including law enforcement agency websites, crime mapping tools, and neighborhood watch groups.
Now let's talk about another factor that can impact real estate decisions: transportation. For many people, the ease of getting around is a major consideration when choosing a home.
You're absolutely right. Access to transportation, whether it's public transportation, highways, or local roads, can have a big impact on your quality of life.
So what's the transportation situation like in Pasco County?
Pasco County offers a mix of transportation options, including highways, major roads, local roads, and public transportation. However, the availability and quality of these options can vary significantly from one area to another.
So buyers need to carefully consider their transportation needs and preferences when choosing a neighborhood.
Absolutely. If you rely on public transportation, you'll want to make sure that your target area has good access to bus or train lines. If you commute by car, you'll want to consider the proximity to major highways and the traffic conditions during peak hours.
So it's all about finding the location that aligns with your individual transportation needs and lifestyle.
Exactly. And it's another area where a good real estate agent can be helpful. They can provide insights into the transportation options in different areas and help you find a home that meets your specific requirements.
Now let's wrap up part 2 of our deep dive by reiterating the importance of working with a knowledgeable and experienced mortgage specialist.
In a market as dynamic and complex as Pasco County's, having a trusted advisor by your side can be invaluable.
Absolutely. A mortgage specialist can help you understand the intricacies of the market, navigate the financing process, and make informed decisions that are aligned with your financial goals.
They can also help you assess your affordability, pre-approve you for a loan, and shop around for the best interest rates and loan terms.
And for those looking for a mortgage specialist with a proven track record of success in the Pasco County market, we highly recommend reaching out to Mike Chissell and his team at Mike Chissell Mortgage Group.
They have a deep understanding of the local market, a commitment to providing personalized service, and a passion for helping their clients achieve their homeownership dreams.
So if you're thinking about buying or selling in Pasco County, don't hesitate to reach out to Mike and his team. They can provide the guidance and support you need to make your real estate journey a success.
We'll be back soon with part 3 of our deep dive, where we'll explore some of the future trends and predictions for the Pasco County real estate market. Stay tuned.
All right, so welcome back to our final part of this deep dive. We've really covered a lot of ground about the Pasco County real estate market, and we've talked about the trends and all the forces that are shaping, this dynamic market.
Yeah.
So let's try to look ahead now. What do you think? What does the future hold?
Well, predicting the future of real estate is never easy. But we can use the data we have and, what experts are saying to make some educated guesses. I think overall, the outlook for Pasco County is still pretty positive. Continued growth is expected. although it might not be at that, super fast pace that we've seen recently.
So a bit more balanced and sustainable then.
Yeah.
That sounds healthy, right?
It does, but that doesn't mean that there won't be challenges. One thing that could continue to have an impact is that shortage of inventory. We talked about how new construction is struggling to keep up with demand, and that's likely to continue for a while.
So even if the market cools down a bit, those tight inventory levels could keep prices up.
It's definitely possible. And another thing to watch are those interest rates. If they keep going up, it could make it harder for some buyers to get into the market or afford, the home they want.
So it sounds like navigating this market really means understanding both what's happening locally and the bigger economic picture.
Absolutely. And that's where having a trusted mortgage specialist like Mike Chissell and his team can make a world of difference. They can really help you make sense of it all and come up with a plan that works for you.
So are there any trends or predictions out there that you think buyers and sellers should be paying attention to as they, plan their next moves?
Well, one trend that's becoming more popular are these mixed-use developments. These are projects that combine residential, commercial, and sometimes even office space, all in one development. It creates these vibrant, walkable communities where you can live, work, and play without having to get in your car all the time.
Well, that sounds really cool, especially, in a world where convenience and community are so important. Are there any specific places in Pasco County where we're seeing these mixed-use developments popping up?
Yeah, we're seeing them in a few places, especially in Wesley Chapel and Trinity. Those areas are already known for their amenities and lifestyle focus.
So if you're a buyer who wants a more urban, walkable lifestyle, but you don't want to give up, the perks of living in the suburbs, mixed-use developments might be something to look into.
Exactly. Another trend that's worth keeping an eye on is all this smart home technology. Buyers are really looking for homes that have those cool gadgets and features, like smart thermostats, smart lighting, smart security systems, all that stuff.
Yeah, I can see the appeal of that. It's convenient, and it can save you money in the long run too, right? The energy efficiency and safety features.
Absolutely. And as technology keeps getting better and more affordable, we're likely to see even more of these smart home features in both new construction and existing homes.
So sellers, it might be a good idea to think about adding some of those smart home upgrades to make your property more appealing to buyers.
That's a great point. And another thing that's really shaping real estate is this growing focus on sustainability. Buyers are becoming more environmentally conscious, and they're looking for homes that are energy efficient, use sustainable materials, and, try to minimize their impact on the environment.
Yeah, that's a really positive trend, I think.
Yeah,
It's good for the planet and good for the homeowner's wallet too.
exactly. And we're seeing builders and developers responding to this demand. They're incorporating sustainable features into their projects like solar panels, energy efficient appliances, water saving fixtures.
So if you're a buyer who cares about sustainability, you've got more options than ever before. And it seems like that trend is only going to get stronger.
I think so. As we become more aware of how our choices affect the planet, sustainability is going to play an even bigger role in real estate.
So we've got mixed-use developments, smart home technology, and sustainability, all shaping the future of real estate. Any other big predictions or wildcard factors that could shake things up?
Well, one thing to watch out for is the potential impact of climate change. As we see more extreme weather events, it's bound to affect where people choose to live and what they look for in a home.
Yeah, that's a really important point, especially here in Florida. We're right on the coast.
Right. Buyers might start prioritizing homes that are in areas with, lower risk of flooding or storm surge, or they might want properties that are built to withstand hurricanes and things like that.
So that's something both buyers and sellers need to be aware of.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's sum up some of the key takeaways for our listeners.
Yeah.
The Pasco County real estate market is still a great place to live, work, and invest.
Yeah. And while things might be slowing down a bit, the market's fundamentals are still strong.
Exactly. And as we've talked about throughout this deep dive, being successful in this market means really understanding the trends, both local and national.
And having a trusted advisor on your side can make a world of difference.
I completely agree. Whether you're buying or selling, a mortgage specialist can help you figure out the market, create a solid financial plan, and make smart decisions.
And if you're looking for a mortgage specialist who really knows Pasco County and is dedicated to helping their clients, we highly recommend reaching out to Mike Chissell and his team at Mike Chissell Mortgage Group.
They have a great track record of helping people achieve their real estate goals, and they're a fantastic resource for anyone who wants to make the most of the opportunities in this market.
So if you're ready to take that next step in your real estate journey, don't hesitate to reach out to Mike Chissell Mortgage Group. They're ready to answer your questions, give you expert advice, and help you succeed.
And with that, we've come to the end of our deep dive into the Pasco County real estate market. We hope you found it helpful and insightful.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. And be sure to tune in for our next deep dive, where we'll explore another interesting topic in the world of real estate. Until then, happy house hunting, everyone.